Mayor, and welcome to the Atlantic City Convention Center for the state finals. It was the Friday after Thanksgiving, and wrestlers all the way from High Point to Cape May all began their quest for a state championship. Well, today, 28 of those wrestlers are still alive. The state finals are coming up, and joining me for all the action today, Jerry Saxel. Jerry, what a great weekend it's been so far. This is one of the great the state puts on.
Steve, I can't believe the crowd. We had the best crowd Friday night that I've ever seen at the States. It was packed again this morning, the same this afternoon. I'm sure we're going to break every attendance record as far as the wrestling championships are concerned as far as this year.
We've got some great wrestlers to check out today. 3 of them are defending champs. At 135, Damian Logan from St. Joseph's. At 145, Don Fritzloff, he's from Lyndhurst. And at 160, it's Mark Stahl from Millville.
Hard enough to win it the first time, but now to try to repeat. We have an outstanding wrestler coming back. Damian Logan of St. Joseph's last year took that award home. Do the other two feel maybe it's their year to walk away with that award? We'll see. It's coming up very shortly.
Well, family pride is also on the line, and throughout the day we'll be talking about fathers and cousins and uncles that all wrestled here in the state finals. But if you want a real family affair, here's Patrick Daly to tell you more.
Well, one of the many great stories around here is about the Mark and Maurice Worthy, the Worthy brothers. They're the first brother combination to wrestle at these finals since 1980. Both have been tremendous all year. Both could very well walk away champions. Could be a great day for the Worthy family today. We'll watch them. Steve?
All right, Patrick. When we come back, it's the 103-pound bout to get us underway. Kevin Rucci against Anthony Conti. So stay with us as the state finals are next. State champions, especially over the last 10 years from Belleville. Joe Nizabaccia, the head coach at Belleville, has done a tremendous job, and he's ready to go. And he's up against Kevin Rucci, the number 1 seed at 103 pounds.
It's Rucci that forces the action a little bit, makes a shot on the edge, out of bounds, into the center, up on the feet again.
Just underway at 103 pounds. 3 2-minute periods. And early, Rucci and Conti looking for the advantage.
Conti again, front headlock, locking up on Rucci, but again, edge of the mat, back into the center.
Rucci from Eastern, coached by John Sanders, Region 7 champ, District 27 champ.
Conti moves his opponent's head, shoots in on a single. Strength of Rucci trying to fight it off here, but Conti in very deep. Wanted more than the 2 points, went up on top, hoping to lock a cradle. Still both up into a neutral position.
So we're scoreless, 1:14, first period to go. Rucci advanced to the finals earlier today. The semifinals taking place this morning, and it was Rucci over Rami Rattel of Bloomfield. 4-2 was the decision. Anthony Conti defeated Sam Che from Pope John in the semifinals. Again, they're off the mat, and we're still scoreless.
Both wrestlers making upper body moves at this particular point. Neither are able to have an advantage over the other.
First bout of 14, and Anthony Conti
catches Rucci on the back. He has his takedown, and he has 2 points added to it. And Rucci comes right back and reverses. We're going to have a 4-2 score here, Conti's favor.
So Anthony Conti with the first aggressive move of the day, but the reversal by Rucci, and it's 4-2 now, 36 seconds to go. First period in the first bout of 14 from the Atlantic City Convention Center, the New Jersey High School State Wrestling Finals.
Rucci, tight waist, keeping Conti underneath him. We're down to under 30 seconds in the first period. Rucci working an armbar. He'd like to even this match up. Trying to get Conti over. Potentially dangerous. Chicken wing is put in.
So both wrestlers head back to the center of the mat. Conti on the bottom, Rucci on top.
Seemed to take a while for Rucci to wake up, Steve. He did not take the mat very aggressively. Conti did. Now that he's on top, Rucci seems to be very, very confident as far as riding his opponent is concerned.
And the end of the first period, and Conti of Belleville holds a 4-2 lead over Rucci of Eastern.
Red, down.
Let's pick up action now in the third period of this state final. So as we head to the final 2 minutes, Conti holds a 2-point advantage. Conti defeated the number 2 seed in the quarterfinals, Craig Frost from Roselle Park, to get here to the final. So now the intensity picks up down to the last 1 minute and 40 seconds.
And now we see where the conditioning comes in, Steve. Which of these young men is the best condition with a minute and a half to go in this championship bout?
Both sophomores. Rucci so close last year as a freshman. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go. Conti in blue leads Rucci in maroon 4-2.
Rucci has to be the aggressor. It's Conti moving his opponent. It's Rucci that's behind. He comes in the fireman's carry, and he can't get it again. Conti working the edge of the mat very well.
1988, Belleville had a champion in Armando Nardone. In 90 and 91, Emilio Nardone. And in 95, John Perna. Anthony Conti hoping to add to that list today.
Protecting that 4-2 lead, not making any mistakes. And it's Conti that shoots in on the leg. It's Conti that locks on Rucci's leg. Conti gaining control. Rucci trying to keep a whizzer in, trying to get off the mat before points are called.
Points were called, 2 of them, and they go to Conti, and he now leads 6-2. Crowd again, not happy with the call.
Takedown in, that whizzer stayed in. Rucci came right up with that whizzer in out to the side.
53 seconds to go, and now Rucci has to come back down 4 at 6-2.
You can see the look on the coach's face from Eastern. Not happy with that call. 4-2, he feels he's in it. 6-2 is a tremendous deficit for his wrestler to come back from. Conti catches him on top, steps, gets his back points. Conti, unless he makes a major mistake, is going to be our first state champion of the year.
At 103 pounds, Conti right now is in control. 3 points go to Conti, and he now leads 9-2. Anthony Conti is 15 seconds away from a state championship.
The second seed knocks off the first seed, and he does it handily as we look at the score as time runs down to 0.
So what a performance from Anthony Conti, and you can hear the Belleville crowd in an uproar. Conti's a state champ at 103. An impressive wire-to-wire job from Anthony Conti, and the Belleville wrestler defeats the wrestler from Eastern, Kevin Rucci, the number 1 seed, 9-2.
He's got to come here. Get him. Coach, I got to take him to the table to get a signature.
Come into Subway.
DeFilippis, the number 1 seed from Seton Hall Prep, 30-0. A freshman takes on Mark Worthy from Central, 31-1. He's a freshman as well. So somebody in their first year of high school wrestling is going to go all the way and win a state championship. Could be quite a match.
It's not totally unusual to see at 103 pounds, Steve, 2 freshmen come in and maybe be in the final. But to be here at 112 pounds and have the records that these 2 freshmen have, when you're looking at 61 wins and 1 loss, we're obviously looking at the 2 best in the state who deserve to be here right now.
Be aggressive. Good luck.
Just 1 loss between these 2 wrestlers. DeFilippis is in the blue with the great trim. And in the reddish maroon, tough to make a call on it. We're going to go with maroon. That's Worthy, the wrestler from Central.
DeFilippis, very, very strong technically. Good upper body strength. Worthy, very aggressive through the whole tournament, having watched him from Friday night through to today.
Worthy with just 1 loss on the year. That came to Jose Villanueva from Long Branch. And it's also nice for Worthy because he revenged that loss later in the year. As for DeFilippis, he has yet to lose, as we mentioned, 30-0, and coming off a win over Villanueva in the semifinals.
Blood time.
Little stop in the action. Some blood coming out of Don DeFilippis' nose.
Okay, guys.
Taken care of very rapidly. Very short break in the action.
Come back to the center of the mat. Early first period, scoreless so far at 112 pounds.
DeFilippis in on a single. Locks on it high. Worthy, nice job of sinking that hip down to the mat. Fighting it off. Has the whizzer in. No advantage either wrestler right now in the position that they're in.
Donnie DeFilippis was the #1 seed. Nick Focus from Bergen Catholic was the #2 seed, but he lost to Worthy in the semifinals.
DeFilippis, nice job. Went into the Navy ride. Gets the first 2 points here at 112 pounds with his takedown.
Takedown 2-0. DeFilippis from Seton Hall Prep looking to make it 2 for 2 for Essex County here. Belleville's Anthony Conti won the first bout of the day at 103 pounds. And a look into the corner of Mark Worthy to Patrick Lynch, the head coach, in his 10th year. 129-71 overall.
Worthy trying to switch into the strength of DeFilippis. Does it. Manages to step across. He's going to have that reversal, and we have a tie bout.
2-2. 26 seconds left, first period.
Let's move it up.
Worthy pulling in that forearm. Trying to work DeFilippis to his back. Reaches deeply around the waist. Going for a leg. Time running out. We're down to 10 seconds here.
And Worthy looking to pick up late points.
DeFilippis does have an injury, Steve. That is not just an action to stop the pinning. He's just given up 3 points against himself. If you are in the process of being pinned and you let out a sound and the official has to stop it for safety reasons, you are still going to give 3 points up against you. So we see DeFilippis on his back now and down 5-2.
We'll try to watch it one more time, and let's see where we could see the yell out by DeFilippis. You could see he's in pain right there.
And Steve, that pain was before he was being turned. When that forearm was hooked and Worthy started to work him to the back, you could see that look.
But DeFilippis will continue with the shoulder injury and now finds himself trailing 5-2 to Mark Worthy as the first period comes to a close.
Very nice job. Almost a forward roll to come out for 1 point. He simply ran out of time. Worthy keeps the lead. DeFilippis defers. He'll have the choice in the last period. Worthy choosing second period to be down. He wants to come out. He wants to score Steve and try and build on his 5-2 lead.
So that's Worthy on the bottom, DeFilippis on top. Worthy, the first of 2 Worthys you'll see today. Maurice Worthy, a junior at 152 pounds, will be wrestling as well for a state championship. First time the 2 brothers on the same day have gone for 2 state championships since 1980 here in the state finals.
Very nice barrel roll by Worthy. DeFilippis somehow manages to fight it off and get his whizzer in so that he remains neutral at this point. Each wrestler so talented for freshmen here at 112 pounds.
John Allen in the corner for Seton Hall Prep. Ready? In the blue shirt.
Stay in there. Stay in there.
Joe Henry working the mat. Vinny Russo assisting him here at our second championship.
6-2. The advantage so far for Mark Worthy from Central High School.
DeFilippis very confident on his feet, Steve. I noticed before this period started, he looked over to his coach, wanted to know whether he could go with the optional start to start on his feet. So he's not too concerned that Worthy's come out for a point here to take the 6-2 lead. But it's Don DeFilippis that has to go in now and try and get that takedown with less than a minute to go in the second period.
Seton Hall Prep this past year finished 5-13 in dual meets and finished 4th in the districts. DeFilippis finished 1st in the districts. And Seton Hall Prep trying to build the program around this man, Donnie DeFilippis, a freshman at 112 pounds.
And a tough one to lose from my hometown, Steve. He's a New Providence resident, so we would have been happy to have him wrestling for New Providence, believe me. Worthy is the aggressor here. DeFilippis is the one trailing by 4 with the 6-2 score. It has to be DeFilippis that gets the points here, trying to bull for the move rather than to wrestle the way he's used to wrestling.
Sparks flew at the end of the first period. Worthy, the near fall against DeFilippis. DeFilippis screaming out with a shoulder injury, but since the shoulder looks to be okay, but still Worthy holds a 6-2 advantage.
Warning against DeFilippis for not having enough action on his feet, and he'll go into that third period with a warning against him and none against Worthy. John Allen, longtime coach, St. Benedict, Summit, number of places, tremendous reputation in the state that we just saw on camera.
And he's been coaching wrestling at Seton Hall Prep since 1989. DeFilippis in the blue with the gray trim, and that's Worthy, the Central Regional wrestler, and the maroon with the gold trim. Again, they go off the mat with 1:26 to go in the third period. One champion already crowned. That's Anthony Conti from Belleville.
All right, let's go. Both wrestlers shoot at the same time. Both balance out nicely. Worthy again, trying to come in, looking for a carry, looking for a barrel roll. DeFilippis locking hard under his arm.
1:08 to go, third period.
DeFilippis on top, circling around, trying to get the points here.
Again, they go back to the center of the mat. And again, it's Worthy over DeFilippis, 6-3.
DeFilippis trying to duck. He needs more than 2 points, Steve. He needs a takedown to the back or 2 takedowns here. Stalling against Red.
And the stalling against Mark Worthy is Patrick Lynch. Worthy's coach comes out. They'll talk things over in the corner of Central Regional and the corner of Seton Hall Prep. 49 seconds to go. And there's the story. It's the Central Regional wrestler Worthy up 6-3.
And DeFilippis taking his second time out, Steve. We talked about 2 minutes for injury time, but you have a maximum of 3 injury timeouts. If he had to take a fourth, he would have to default in the finals. You know that's not going to happen.
What brilliant futures both these wrestlers have. Just freshmen all the way to the state finals in their very first years.
Worthy, nice job coming in on the single. DeFilippis, I give him a lot of credit. He tried to move to take Worthy down and put him onto his back. Worthy ends up with the 2 points. He initiated the move. DeFilippis tried a tough counter. Worthy gives up 1. 8-4, Worthy.
So Worthy has been in control since late in the first period. And the shoulder injury has hampered DeFilippis. And now as we head to the final 20 seconds, DeFilippis trails 8-4.
Again, Worthy has to be very smart now. DeFilippis still wonderful with his throws, is an outstanding wrestler, but it's Worthy who again moves in on the leg. It's Worthy, by being the aggressor here in this last period, that's going to come away with the second championship here at Atlantic City today.
Luke and Jude Skov from Long Branch both won on the same day in 1980. Brothers winning. Tim and Mike Catalfo both won in 1977. 1 down and 1 to go for the Worthies, as Mark Worthy wins at 112 pounds, and his brother Maurice Worthy still to come at 152 pounds. What a job by the freshman Mark Worthy, who finishes the year at 32-1, and he's the state champion at 112 pounds. Saw a former state champ from Kinnatini. He won the title in 1994. He's 32-0. He's a senior, and he's taking on the Christian Brothers Academy wrestler Dave Santamaria, 26-1. He's a sophomore. Santamaria wearing the dark blue. He's right now at the center of the mat. There's a look at Santamaria. And the Kinnatini wrestler Roman Flazar, 32-0. And what a great career he's had. This one should be entertaining at 119 pounds.
Always works hard on the mat. You're never going to see him out there doing anything except being aggressive and trying to turn his opponent to his back. This is what we've seen from him. That's what we've come to expect, and we'll see if he carries that through as the favorite here in the finals at 119.
He's been to the finals now 3 straight years as Flazar. Last year, finished as the state runner-up.
Okay, let's use that green. Let's use it.
So we're underway.
Stay off his throat.
Dark blue, as you see, closest to you. That's the wrestler from CBA, Santa Maria.
Glazer trying to move his opponent's head.
Come on, let's work.
Santa Maria throwing by it. Santa Maria that grabs the leg, drives Glazer off the mat.
Well, Santa Maria certainly, with his work cut out for him, he's wrestling against someone who is one of the favorites early on to be an outstanding wrestler here in the state tournament, Roman Flazar. And Flazar looks to be off to a good start.
Moves in beautifully on a double, but somehow, Santa Maria locks over top and there's no points. Barry Jackson officiating. Again, assisted by Gary Kessel. No call. Stalemate coming soon unless there's a change in position by either of the two wrestlers.
First minute of the match, and we're scoreless. And both wrestlers head to the center of the mat. Outstanding Wrestler Awards went to Flazar in both the districts and the regions this year. Very impressive career at 112 wins and just 8 losses.
Glazer with that super move before and coming in with no points. Santa Maria, Steve, again, in the semis, defeated a state champion from last year, Laval from Hanover Park. So maybe having a state champion opposing him isn't too fearful for him after his last round. And it's Santa Maria that's pushing forward.
Well, Santa Maria has had some tournament coming back starting on Wednesday and working his way right through to the final.
Working.
Still scoreless.
Tying up her body. Flazar with the beautiful fireman's carry. Has his takedown, has the lead. 2-0.
Flazar on the board first.
First points are so important out here to build up one's confidence. And again, just to have those 2 points to play with, especially when it occurs at the end of a period with just 10 seconds left.
And we have seen that the first period in our first 2 bouts has become so important. Both wrestlers leading after the first period went on to win state crowns. 4 seconds to go.
Glazer so talented, riding equally well from both sides on top, throwing his opponent off on the bottom.
Big year for Kittatinny, 13-2 under head coach John Gill.
Red takes defense. Move out the way, Bruce.
Beautiful move by Flazar, works the opponent, sets it deep, comes in on that carry. Beautiful arm control above the elbow, lovely throw, down hard, great 2 points, great lead for the state champion.
They're neutral.
Flazar out so easily from the bottom, good hand control.
Come on, Green, let's advance.
Flazar now up 3-0.
Come on, let's go.
Another stalemate call, both wrestlers up on the feet again. The officials here in the finals of the state are going to make sure that the action is hot and heavy. They're not going to let the wrestlers just stand in the center. We've seen that in the first 2 bouts. We're seeing it again here in the third. Flazar moving his opponent's head again. Like to come underneath if he could.
Santa Maria last year 4th at 103 pounds in the States. 2-time Homedale champion, 96 Colt Classic champion. And off the mat they go again, and as they head to the mat, you'll look at John Gill, the head coach of Kittatinny, this year named the outstanding coach in New Jersey.
Keep wrestling, working.
And again, we have, Jackson's voice, and again, nice to see that action being continued out there, making the wrestlers work, letting them know that his job is to have a good bout. Santa Maria in on a leg, in deep. Flazar, great hip action, just comes out easily, and it's Flazar that turns an offensive move by Santa Maria into an offensive move for himself.
2 red takedown.
Impressive show so far by Roman Flazar, and he now leads 5-0 with 43 seconds to go, second period.
Such nice control on top. You have a feeling that he can ride his opponent unless he wants to let him go to come out for a point. Again, we're looking at senior, we're looking at sophomore, and that's the difference out here right now, Steve. Not just the experience of having been in the state finals before, but we're looking at a 2-year difference between the 2 wrestlers that are wrestling here in this bout.
When Flazar won his state championship in 1994, he won it at 103 pounds. Last year moved up a weight class to 112, and this year moves up a weight class to 119. 30 seconds to go, second period, and Flazar's in control of this state final.
Working out on the side so that Jackson again ends up calling on top, looking for a fall, wants the action to be better than it is. First warning against the state champion.
There's the story. Big crowd. What a great day of wrestling from Atlantic City. We're glad you joined us for the New Jersey High School State Finals. Steve Mayer, Jerry Saxel. 20 seconds to go, second period. And you're watching a former state champ, Roman Flazar, leading 5-0 over Dave Santamaria.
Again, interesting to see these officials making the wrestlers work very, very hard. If a young man is now trying to take an opponent down, come out from the bottom or pin him, as we see Flazar on top right now, he's going to be warned. The object of this sport is still to pin your opponent, not just to beat him on points.
We look at two tired wrestlers as well. How draining is this weekend for these wrestlers?
It's not just this weekend, Steve. This started earlier this week. They were wrestled Tuesday night in the first round of the states at the four various sites around, so it was there. It was back to school on Wednesday and Thursday. Coming down here early. Some came down Thursday night. Some were down early yesterday morning. They wrestled last night. They've wrestled this morning and this afternoon. You have to be a lucky wrestler. You have to be a well-conditioned wrestler and have the talent. All of those things combined to give you a state championship. 1 point for Santamaria. Flazar not too concerned about giving him that point. He feels confident on his feet.
Now that was Kurt Holtz, closest to you. He's the head coach of CBA in his third year. And his wrestler right now is in trouble. Roman Flazar in control against Dave Santamaria, leading now 7-1, third period.
Unless someone comes out of the stands and kidnaps Flazar, Steve, he has this championship. He's not going to lose a 6-point lead, not with the talent that he has. He won't make that kind of a mistake.
Flazar just got by in the semifinals, got by Mika Khan from Eastern 3-2. But he's having an easier time of it here in the finals, leading 7-2, and he's on his way to a title at 119.
Such a solid wrestler, Steve. Good control with his hands. Beautiful hip action, nice balance. He's been in trouble 1 or 2 times and yet has not given up the big points. He's given the 2 points to his opponent rather than Santamaria earning them.
All-around athlete as well, Roman Flazar, captain of the varsity soccer team at Kittatinny. And this Cougar is on his way, 7-2. It will be his second state title in the last 3 years.
Very, very difficult to win more than 1 championship in the state of New Jersey. Some people think that you take it for granted that someone wins a second or third, and lots of people do it. They don't. The surprising thing is we'll have a young man going later today for his 3rd championship in the state, a most unusual accomplishment.
John Gill has to be happy with his man's performance. Roman Flazar has been on top since the beginning and in control. What a great year it's been for Kittatinny. North Jersey Section 1 Group 2 champions. They won the North Jersey Group 2 state final, and now they've got a state champion as well in 30 seconds in Roman Flazar.
And you see why the awards come to a coaching staff, and it's not just one coach, it's the coaching staff that works with a young man like this in a program like Kittatinny has. Flazar behind again for another 2, gives his opponent 1. Again, the score may be 9-3, but Flazar has scored all 12 points as far as this bout is concerned, earning 9 himself and giving 3 to his opponent.
And you mentioned the coaching staff, John Gill, a coach along with Lynn Cron. They've been the coaches at Kittatinny for the last 16 years, and in 10 seconds, well, not even in 10 seconds, right now, they've got to be so proud of their wrestler, Roman Flazar, who is the state champion at 119 pounds. Quite an impressive performance, Jerry.
Wonderful job of wrestling. So solid.
So a 9-3 decision. And we have 3 state champions. Anthony Conti at 103, Mark Worthy at 112, and Kittatinny's Roman Flazar, the state champion at 119. Here we go at 125 pounds. Nick Angan from Brick Memorial, a state title winner as a sophomore, now a senior, against Kimo Jeter from Elizabeth, the junior, 28-1. Jeter with the black and the red trim. He's the one that right now is over to the right side of your screen and now moving over to the right side of the screen. That's Angan from Brick Memorial.
And Jeter with the panel down the side and Angan with no panel. A solid uniform, maybe easy to follow during the match that way.
Angen, a national prep champion as a freshman at Blair Academy. Then he transferred to Brick, won the state title as a sophomore. Last year had a tough year, but he's back this year with a vengeance, and he is now in the state final, one match away from winning it all.
Jeter having gone through Zwick from Roselle Park, who was third in the states last year, on his way through the championships to get to this point in the finals.
Yeah.
It's Jeter moving forward. It's Jeter being the aggressor, but it's Angen that moves in, grabs the leg, picks Jeter up into the air easily.
Easy.
2-point takedown, the early lead, and we've seen that the people who've gotten that early lead are in a commanding position.
Well, we have to find a form so far. That's been the form. There it is. Wow, there's no form there. That's just a win by pin. Unbelievable performance, and how quick did Angen put that move on Jeter.
That's why with Angen's background as far as the state championship, you just saw that come to a peak right now. A pin, minute, 15 seconds.
Wow, and that was explosive. Just what I was saying, we were going to have a form that was taking place. This is what took place, and let's watch it again. An impressive move by Nick Angen from Brett.
Moved in on the single, grabs the leg. Jeter seems to counter it well at this point, but then all of a sudden, up into the air, tremendous control. Jeter panicking a little bit when he comes down, reaching back for someone's head, something you never do, letting that right arm of his be trapped. With that trap in there again, the state champion. A beautiful job of trapping both arms, walking around. Look at that weight on his toes, and a wonderful fall for the champion.
In 1:15, and that's more impressive when you consider these are the two best wrestlers in the state at 125. Angen just so impressive, and he wins the title. The wrestler from Brick Memorial wins his second state title of his career.
Lloyd Sands, the executive director of the NJSIAA, here to talk about a new relationship with the wrestling tournament.
Yes, we're very fortunate this year that Bob Stores has joined with NJSIA in assisting us to put on this outstanding program here in Convention Hall in Atlantic City.
Well, Bob Stores is something new, but something that is not so new is being here in Atlantic City in the Convention Center. Talk about the relationship with the city, and talk about this venue for your tournament.
Yes, this is the 5th year we've been in Atlantic City at Convention Hall, and we project a standing room only crowd again this year. And through the support of Mayor Whalen of Atlantic City, it's just a happy 2 days here in Atlantic City for all the wrestling fans of New Jersey who look forward to seeing the high school wrestlers perform.
Thanks for putting on another great show.
Thank you.
So next, it's 130 pounds. The championship matches up the Phillipsburg wrestler Tim Moore, a senior, against Rawway's Tom Wysocki, a senior. Wysocki comes in at 27-1.
Wysocki, pound for pound, as well built as anybody in the tournament, Steve. You take a look at that muscle development that he has. He'll have the strength. Moore is, again, a person who has pulled major upsets as far as this championship is concerned.
Moore has been impressive, just 22-6 on the year, but he has wrestled so well this weekend, and he's in the finals for Phillipsburg. And the crowd, you'll hear them, they'll be behind Tim Moore.
Most people would really agree that his 6'5" defeat of Esposito, the first seed in this weight class, is maybe the greatest upset of the tournament so far. And it is again Moore in on the legs. It is Moore working for the takedown to take the lead here at 130 against Tom Wysocki. And he has that lead.
Well, here's a guy who's on a roll, and he starts off wrestling well, leading 2-0 here. First period of action. Another great win for Moore came in the semifinals. Phillipsburg able to defeat Paulsboro, and that is always interesting when those two teams get together. Seneca Cooper from Paulsboro defeated by Moore 5-3 in overtime.
And all Cooper was, Steve, was 32-1 at the time of Moore's victory.
Wysocki, keep an eye on a shoulder injury that he suffered during the semifinals. It's plagued him. And also a hand injury, which has plagued him. Wysocki, though, as Jerry mentioned, oh so strong, and the Rawway wrestler into the finals.
Moore looking for a cradle on top. Wysocki pulls it off, comes up, gets his escape. It's 2-1.
Wysocki, District 11 champion, Region 3 champion, and the outstanding wrestler in the Union County Tournament Championship.
Moore again in deeply on the leg. Wysocki locks on top, stalemate coming up. Both wrestlers back to their feet. Stalemate, no action occurring. Neither wrestler able to improve his position. Therefore, you'll hear that whistle blow from the official. Put them both up onto their feet again so that action can continue.
Moore in the gray and the maroon. Wysocki in the red, white, and black.
Beautiful ankle pick. Beautiful ankle pick by Moore. He takes the 4-1 lead. Wysocki not moving, flat on his stomach at this point. But it's Moore who's injured. And Wysocki is injured. Wysocki down, holding the shoulder that Steve talked about.
We'll watch it again. We told you about Wysocki's injuries coming in. But let's watch what happens here to Tim Moore.
Beautiful little shrug throw by. Picks up that leg. You'll see the foot come into that groin area right there. Wysocki comes down hard on the shoulder, and Moore comes down right there on top of that shoulder. Both wrestlers shaken on that exchange.
Doctor not really sure of which corner to go to. And there's Wysocki, and you can see gingerly holding that right arm.
He won his match to get into the finals by being slammed. And again, if anybody wonders whether he stayed down or not, he certainly didn't. I happened to be watching that slam. It was a hard one. Wysocki was leading 5-1 in that match, and a good move by not continuing in the semis, saving himself for the finals here.
17 seconds to go, first period. Wysocki on bottom, Moore on top. Moore leads 4-1 and make it 4-2.
Wysocki so hard to hold down, but again, if Moore can continue to dominate on the feet.
Into the first period. Tim Moore leads 4-2. There's the corner. Man closest to you, that's Mike Rossetti, head coach at Phillipsburg, the State Liners. Another great year, 21-6 in Phillipsburg. Named today as the outstanding wrestling team in New Jersey this year.
And again, whether somebody loves them or hates them, they came into this tournament with a reputation to protect, and they've done just that. Tremendous job wrestling back for the thirds and fourths. Their wrestlers have excited the crowd for the full 2 days here, and they are the best team in this tournament. Coach Rossetti's taken over that program this year and done nothing but elevate it to a higher level.
So the point awarded to Moore. He now leads 5-2 in the second period.
It's Wysocki that makes a nice throw by, but he can't get behind for the point yet. It's still 5-2. Wysocki would like to make it 5-4. Moore holding tightly onto that leg.
Later on, we'll see the senior, the leader of Phillipsburg this past year, Mark DeFrancisco, and he'll be wrestling for a state championship at 189 pounds. Only two schools represented by two finalists.
Very, very nice throw by Wysocki.
And Wysocki narrows the gap. It's now 5-4 in the second period.
Shoots a Japanese takedown there on that throw, and it works beautifully.
1:02 to go, second period. And Jerry, this the first close bout so far in the state finals. There's Fred Stuber, head coach of Rahway, shouting his instructions to his man, Tom Wysocki.
And again, one of the ex-state coaches of the year for New Jersey, so two talented coaches against one another here. A neutral for Moore. He's up onto the feet. Will Wysocki again look for a throw?
You can see Wysocki so gingerly moving that right arm, and he's really almost wrestling with one arm here, and it's quite a performance. Gutty performance here in the state finals for Wysocki.
And that is his arm that he shoots with for most of his takedowns, Steve. Moore in the legs again, though, looking to come out the back door. Wysocki, again, as we saw earlier in the bout, locking over top, looking for a stalemate. He'd like to be up on the feet again in another second or two, and he's going to be.
27 seconds to go, second period. Closest bout of the day so far in the state finals. And it's Moore of Phillipsburg leading Wysocki of Rahway 6-4.
Bob Whitaker again calling the match. Barry Jackson assisting. Moore locked on that leg. It's Wysocki that's down by 2 as this period comes to an end with less than 10 seconds. It's Wysocki that needs to get the points, not Moore right now.
Moore continues to hold on to a 2-point advantage. And that will do it for the second period. So 2 more minutes, perhaps overtime as well. And Tim Moore, a senior, leads Tom Wysocki, a senior, 6-4. We're in Atlantic City. We're at the Convention Center. And it's the New Jersey High School State Wrestling Finals. That's Moore in the maroon and gray against Wysocki in the black, red, and white. And it's now 6-5. 6-5. Moore holding on to a 1-point advantage over Wysocki.
Neither wrestler able to keep the under person there as far as the bout is concerned. So this is going to be decided on the feet. Again, as Steve said, it's 6-5 Moore. Wysocki has to look for the takedowns now. He has to be the aggressor.
Whistle blows back to the center of the mat. Both wrestlers looking for the big move.
As we talked earlier, Wysocki backing away. Even though he's behind, it's Moore the aggressor. Wysocki has to stay in the center, look for his takedowns. A warning against him, and it is Wysocki that's in deep again. Moore sprawls, plays the edge of the mat. He's happy to go off and start again.
And he's off the mat with 1:20 to go. Third period. Tim Moore, the wrestler from Phillipsburg, holding on to a 6-5 advantage.
Moore comes in, Steve, again with that 22-6 record, but keep in mind the competition that Moore has gone against, those Pennsylvania schools, the best in New Jersey. So that 22-6 record is a little misleading. Wysocki tries to throw again. Moore floats nicely, keeps his balance, and it's still 6-5 Moore.
And the tension riding high here in Atlantic City with 1:03 to go, and it's still 6-5 Moore.
He's still shooting, Wysocki backing. He has to be careful. He doesn't want to give up a point so that a takedown would only make it a tie score. He wants to keep that 1-point deficit so a takedown can put him ahead.
Moore was second in the districts, third in the regions. As we mentioned, 6 losses heading in, but this win would be the ultimate, a state championship, and he leads 6-5 with 37 seconds to go.
This is why the runner-ups come along with the champion, Steve. Not a champion in the regions, and yet here he is, a few seconds away from a state championship in Atlantic City.
25 seconds. Can Moore hold on? Can Wysocki come up with the move of his life?
1 point for Moore. Wysocki tying on top. This is what he didn't want to happen with 20 seconds to go. It is now 7-5 Moore. Question on about? Guys?
No, they award the point to Wysocki. They awarded the point to Wysocki. So with 17 seconds to go, it's 6-6.
Both coaches up on their feet. Moore not going to be happy with that point. He's going to, again, get the 2 once he gets him down on the mat. And
there it
takedown call, no takedown. They're up on their feet still, Steve. It's still 6-6.
Oh, I thought he awarded the 2 points to Moore.
Yeah,
and so did the Phillipsburg crowd. 4 seconds to go, no points awarded. So as they head back to the center of the match, it's 6-6.
Wysocki kept that whizzer in, fought off that move. We have our first overtime. It's 2 minutes. Wysocki going to take some of that time for his shoulders. It's right back into immediate action.
All right, we'll get to watch the action on the side of the mat one more time, Jerry.
Moore is in so deep. Look at this. How does Wysocki just reach back with that left arm? Managed to hold the opponent there. Wysocki is not on the mat. The knees are up. He has to be down for the call. And right here, as he starts to go down, you see it, that whizzer is in.
And here it is. For one young man, this will be something they'll remember for a lifetime.
We've been here before. Moore in on a single. Wysocki locking over top. He doesn't have as good a lock as he's had in the past. That gives Moore an advantage, and Moore's going to come, and Moore's going to get the takedown and win the championship.
Tim Moore. Oh, he came so close at the end of regulation, and then pulls off the win 18 seconds into overtime, and the Phillipsburg crowd responds. Their man, senior Tim Moore, is the state champion at 130 pounds, quite a bout.
He worked that from the first bout against Esposito to an overtime. No young man more deserving than he is.
So the win goes to the Phillipsburg wrestler, Tim Moore. One state champion for Phillipsburg. We'll see Mark DeFrancisco from Phillipsburg later today at 189. Now we're looking at our first defending champion Damian Logan from St. Joseph's High School against Dave Bubnowski from Union High School. Both wrestlers are seniors. Well, what a great state championship at 130 pounds. And Jerry, let's see if this one can equal the last one we took a look at.
Steve, you're looking at Bubnowski, an outstanding wrestler for 4 years, has more than 100 victories, got that last week in the regions, and yet he's going to be overpowered by Damian Logan. You're looking at the outstanding wrestler in the state last year of New Jersey. He's, I guess I don't want to use the word in the wrong sense. He's a brutal wrestler. Watch it out there, folks. Watch his moves. Everything is done with an intensity that you've not seen in any of the previous bouts. Bubnowski is an outstanding wrestler. I just don't think Logan is going to lose to anybody in the state of New Jersey at 135 pounds.
Neutral, one.
Early on, Logan has a 2-1 lead.
Giving his opponent, again, that point because he's so good on his feet.
Damian Logan has had a great career at St. Joseph's. Incredible what he has done. 121 wins, just 6 losses. As we mentioned, state champion last year, outstanding wrestler here. He was the state champion as a freshman, second as a sophomore. So here's a guy that we've seen in a state final each of the last 4 years. Quite an accomplishment. And as they head back to the center of the mat in the first period, Logan early establishing who's in charge. He leads 4-1.
And remember, Steve, no one has ever won 4 state championships in the state of New Jersey. Mike Frick, again for Pope John, won it as a freshman, lost in the finals, and a last-second move as a sophomore, won it as junior and senior. You have Damian Logan now going for his 3rd championship. This is extremely unique to see a young man in this state with the competition win 3 championships. He has a 4-2 lead now, soon to be 6-2, and as I said, he doesn't do anything halfway. Bubnowski's an outstanding wrestler, and somewhere else could win a championship.
Now, we need to point that out, that Bubnowski is a state finalist, and what a great year he had as well. In fact, he has not lost this year at 32-0, and he's a 4-time Union County champion, and this year won both the districts and the regions.
He came in 2 years ago here at 29-2. He was here again last year. He's been here for years, Bubnowski.
Union hasn't had a state champion since Mike Ferroni. And Ferroni, you may remember, one of the great football players in the state, went on to the University of Iowa. 27 seconds to go, first period, and it looks as if Logan will give up the point all day to come back with the takedown, and that's been the pattern, and he leads 6-3.
Vinny Russo working the mat and assisted by Dan Mahoney. We didn't have a chance to mention Dan before. He was working a minute and 15-second bout, I guess, before. So Dan Mahoney, again, assisting Russo in this bout.
And as usual, it has been an entertaining day of wrestling. The state finals in Atlantic City. Been here since 1991. And today has been another great day. And so far, we've seen the last match go down to the wire. And the first 3 matches go down to the top wrestler just controlling the match right from the beginning.
Red top. Get set, Green.
Logan will be on the bottom to start this 3rd period. Bubnowski will be on top. And there's the story so far. Logan leading as we head into the final period of action, 7-3.
Bubnowski going back to the same ride that worked for him well before. Out on the side, tight waist, hard half being thrown on the neck of Damian Logan. Officials looking. Why is there no action? Is it bottom man not moving? Good call by Vinny Russo. Bottom man has to move.
Logan aggressive early on, but he has really been passive since.
Since the head hit the mat, you do not see the same wrestler out there, Steve, that you saw in the first 2.5 minutes.
1:27 to go.
We're also seeing an outstanding job of wrestling by David Bubnowski.
32-0 coming in. And Bubnowski hoping to stay undefeated and win a state crown today. Wrestling out of Union High School.
Let's go, let's work, let's go.
Those 2 fast takedowns that made it 4-1 early on. That's been the margin that Logan's been able to use here in this latter part of the match.
Heading towards the last minute of action.
Frustrated. Now a warning again on top man. He had been warned before on the feet. Bubnowski now again riding on top, not working for the fall. Point goes to Logan. 8-3 lead for Logan.
Logan still on the bottom, Bobnovsky on top. And Bobnovsky has to come up big here in the last minute. 57 seconds to go. It has been a brilliant career for Damian Logan. Expect big things from this wrestler in college. He's about to become the all-time winningest wrestler in Bergen County history with this win. 37 seconds away.
Set, top.
Dave Bobnovsky would like to have this match start right now. Steve, he's the one that has really been the better wrestler of the two in the last 3 minutes of this bout. He has simply not been able to come back from the points he gave up right at the start of the match.
Logan furiously came out of the gate, wrestled well, led 6-3, and now he opens up his advantage to 9-3 with 22 seconds to go.
Another stalling call against Bobnovsky on top.
Folks at home might say that Logan's not moving on the bottom as well, but the stalling warnings continually going to Bobnovsky. And as we head to the final 5 seconds, Damian Logan will win his 3rd state championship. Quite a job. A senior, hard to believe that he has just wrestled his final high school match.
Nice match, both men.
Credit as far as New Jersey is concerned with that 3rd championship.
Damian Logan from St. Joseph's High School, a 9-3 decision over Dave Bobnovsky from Union. Conoco from Edison against Rich Potato from Hackensack. State championships one by one being crowned today. 140 pounds, Mike Malanconico from Edison, Rich Potato from Hackensack, both seniors. Potato, the undefeated wrestler, 31-0. That's Malanconico in the red. Potato is in the yellow. Potato came in as the number 2 seed at 140 pounds. Malanconico upset the number 1 seed in the semifinals, John Forster from Buena. So Malanconico is here in the final, and he is a tough wrestler, somebody that looked real good in that semifinal win.
Both wrestlers choosing to go upper body here at the start of 140. Feeling each other out, knowing here that one mistake, it could be a 2-point takedown to a back. Warning against red. Malanconico not mixing it up to the liking of the official out there, Joe Henry. Now it's to his liking. It is Malanconico that's in deep, but no takedown, still on the feet.
One minute to go, first period, still scoreless.
Potato almost sweeping behind. Both wrestlers, though, still on their feet.
Malanconico, the first Edison High School wrestler to head to a state final since Joe Duhigg did it back in 1989. Mike's head coach, Jerry Nizavaccia, was a 2-time state champion, 2-time outstanding wrestler in this tournament in 70 and 71.
And he was as smooth as anyone that you ever saw in the finals in the states here in Jersey.
Still scoreless, 34 seconds to go, and now we're scoreless no longer as Malanconico gets on the board.
Potato, nice takedown. Takes that lead, 2-0.
Check that, I might have said Malanconico on the board first. I meant to say Potato, I'm sorry about that. So the wrestler in the yellow, Potato, leads 2-0. Potato, coached by John Stallone, came in 31-0, 21 pins this year, Jerry.
Nice move by Potato, coming the opposite way, getting his back points here. Lovely balance on top. Only 5 seconds to go. Is there enough time for the fall? No, there's not.
And the end of the first period. Rich Potato now on bottom, Melanconico on top, and as you see, Potato has opened up a big advantage here at 5-1. I'm sorry, 6-0. And Potato's looking for more.
Super job of coming out for his one and then immediately back in for the takedown, and now immediately with his opponent on the back. Potato, so tough, such nice balance on top.
Potato now leads 8-0 with 1:32 to go.
2 more for his back points. And again, right into a different pinning combination. Hard to see this one going the distance, Steve.
And there it is. Rich Potato's the state champion at 140 pounds. Don Pritzloff from Lyndhurst against Eric Hall from Voorhees. That's next at 145 pounds. Something's got to give here. Both of these wrestlers come in undefeated. Pritzloff at 31-0. Hall at 35-0.
Steve, there's an excitement right now. There's a silence almost in here. We're talking about the match that everybody talked about all year long, and here it is in the finals. Hall, the bull, dad is coach. All of the emotional things one would expect. A returning champion in Pritzloff. What's going to happen, as you said, somebody's going to have to be a loser here. Hall gets the first point.
Eric Hall from Voorhees gets the first point. You can hear the crowd. You can hear the excitement.
You knew that explosion was going to come. The silence was there beforehand, and whoever moved first was going to, again, have that crowd come to life.
Escape for Pritzloff, and it's 2-1. Hall with the lead. Pritzloff running back to the center of the mat. He's got the yellow and the blue on, and in the maroon and gold, that's Eric Hall, a Viking from Voorhees.
Pritzloff not used to being behind. He's not happy that the score's 2-1 Hall right now.
What a story on the side of the Halls. Eric Hall comes from a wrestling family. His cousin Ken Hall last year, 100 Central, finished second in the States. His father Bob, second in 1966 in the state. His uncle Ken Hall Sr., second in 67 and 68. The Halls have never won a state crown, yet they've been in 4 finals. Will they win today?
Tremendous wrestler out there, and a wonderful duck under by Pritzloff to come behind to get those 2 points.
I'll tell you when, Green. On top.
Pritzloff on top, Hall on bottom. And Pritzloff with the early 3-2 lead.
Hall attempting to switch. Pritzloff holding on to that arm, staying out on the side, keeping control by hooking a leg.
A look into the corner of Lyndhurst High School and Michael Spadola, head coach of Lyndhurst. 15-1 this past year in dual meets was Lyndhurst. Pritzloff, 3-time District 15 champion, 3-time Region 4 champion.
Pritzloff with such good control, just holding that leg, holding the head. Coach Padula, again, having built a nice program at Irvington. Again, continuing and bringing the Watchung Hills program back. And walking Stephen, a really nice position this year where he is to inherit a returning state champion and one that could end up having 3 titles before he's done.
Pritzloff won the state championship last year at 135 pounds. 35 seconds to go. First period, action-packed period. Pritzloff leads 3-2.
Talk to the college coaches in the area and in the country and ask which wrestler they would probably like to have on the mat for them in a top collegiate area, and you're looking at that wrestler right now, Steve. He just doesn't do things wrong on the mat. You'll see him hustle back each time to the center. Again, works very, very hard.
We talked about family affairs. The cousin of Don Pritzloff, Glenn Pritzloff, won 3 state titles for Middletown South.
Beautiful snap back.
No.
All trying to sit. Pritzloff almost getting points. No count.
10 seconds to go, first period. Pritzloff clinging to a 3-2 lead.
First seed on top, second seed on bottom. Second seed trailing by a point as the first period ends.
Stop, relax.
Well, Jerry, what a proud day this has to be for Eric Hall's father, Bob. He's in the corner of Voorhees. He's the head coach, 21 years. 4 New Jersey group champions, 12 New Jersey sectional champions. And his father has coached him all the way, and that's got to be great news for his father to see his son get to the state final.
And again, over the last 20 years, there is no other coach in the state that has credentials that are any better than Coach Hall's. He's a nice gentleman. He does a nice job with his kids. 1 point, again, nicely done by Pritzloff to take the 4-2 lead on that escape. Hall has to get that head up. If he keeps the head down, Pritzloff again will bring him up, hit that duck again.
My time. My time. Somebody's bleeding.
Can they stop it at any time?
There can get to be a point where the advice of the doctor or a trainer can override what the young man wants to do, Steve, where the blood can be such a problem that they're worried about the loss of it. You almost never see it happen. I have seen it happen a number of times because I've been involved in this sport more years than I'd like to admit to, but it is a very unusual occurrence. Hopefully what we're doing now with the Mass Marvel coming out is going to stop the blood, but also allow our state champion to breathe out here today.
You have to also remember that this is it. It's come down to today. It's come down to this match, and these wrestlers will do whatever it takes. Back to the center of the mat. After the blood timeouts, 53 seconds remain, second period. Eric Hall on the left of your screen. On the right of your screen, that's Don Pritzloff, and Pritzloff leads 4-2.
No, we got to do that. It's getting all over the place.
And
We got to
again,
clean it up. He's getting all over his head.
the blood
We gotta
flowing
clean it up,
from
'cause
the
it's getting all over his
nose
head and stuff. We got to take it
of
off.
Don Pritzloff.
Look at the crowd in that corner.
And you can hear the officials saying, hey, he's getting it all over everything. He's getting it over the mat. He's getting it over the clothes. He's getting it all over me. So they wanted to stop this thing. And they again will attend to Don Pritzloff. And you can see it's not a pretty sight.
I think we saw this movie was called The Mask. I want to see if he has this on if he wins the championship in the final team picture. I count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 people in the corner, and none of them is helping to stop the flow of blood.
So it's been 26 seconds and 3 timeouts later.
Lee!
And we start again. 145 pounds, Don Pritzloff. He's bleeding from the nose. We've had a series of injury timeouts taking on Eric Hall, and Pritzloff leads 4-2. This has been the score the entire second period, and through the timeouts, things have still continued to be entertaining from the center mat here at the Atlantic City Convention Center. Off the mat they go.
Very physical bout. Pritzloff in, deep on the legs, and again, Hall putting the hand right up into the face, which is legal. Not anything illegal about it, but pushing against that nose to, again, be able to counter that move.
The masked marvel is Don Pritzloff, who won the state championship last year at 135 pounds. The blood continues to flow, but so does the time, and in 3 seconds, the second period comes to a close.
Red, we have optional start coming. Optional start. Get on top, Green.
Pritzloff giving the point, making it 4-3.
So it's
Feeling he
4-3.
can handle it on
Watch the
top,
hands.
himself up on the feet.
1:40 to go. Pritzloff, Hall, both undefeated wrestlers, both looking for the state championship.
Hall losing his balance a little on the edge, a little shoved by Pritzloff.
Anymore.
1:25 to go. 4-3. Pritzloff holding on to a lead. And again, some rough action out of bounds. And this time, Hall looks to be injured.
Whistle blew. Pritzloff still took Hall down after the whistle blew. That was fairly clear. A second ago, there was a little push on the edge after the whistle. But that time, after the whistle blew, he kind of dropped him and he came down hard onto his back. Coach is not very happy. You can see the reaction of the assistant coach, still very visibly upset in the corner.
Watch it again. Now, granted, you cannot hear the whistle, but this came after the whistle. Out of bounds.
The whistle has blown. Down hard, again, driving that shoulder into the midsection of Hall, close to the floor of Convention Center.
So much intrigue involved in this particular match. And look at Eric Hall as he psychs himself up. Pritzloff leads 4-3.
Hall a little upset about that. We'll see if it works to his advantage or whether the emotion is something that Pritzloff can use to his advantage. You saw Vinny Russo out there with a clock in his hand. He was taking, again, a record of the time that Hall needed to use for his injury time, so that 2 minutes is recorded visibly on that clock.
Out of bounds again. Clock stops. 58 seconds to go. Who's it going to be? Pritzloff, the defending champion, or the undefeated Eric Hall?
Takedown for Pritzloff, sews it up for him. 3 points. He's not going to lose if he gets this takedown here. Hall gets it, anything could happen. And it's Pritzloff that gets the takedown and takes the 6-3 lead. Hard to come back from 3 points down against one of the best in the country.
Center.
Last year, Pritzloff won it all. This year came into this bout 31-0 with 27 pins. He now leads 6-3. Hall on the bottom, Pritzloff on
Come on top,
top.
Green.
Pritzloff hooking that left arm, riding tough on top. He won't be reversed. If anything, he'll give a point up here. Hangs on to the leg. Hall working very hard to come out. There's his point.
Okay, so it's now 6-4, and now Hall looks for the takedown to even things up. 15 seconds to go. Stalemate as you heard the call. So with 13 seconds to go, Jerry, it comes down to Hall in desperate need of a takedown.
Gary Kessler hustling both wrestlers out to the center. He wants this action to be, again, continuous. It's Pritzloff that comes behind, sews up a championship with a nice aggressive move right at the buzzer.
So again, the Halls finish in second, but it's a state championship for Don Pritzloff from Lyndhurst. His second consecutive state crown, finishes the year at 32-0. And you know what? He's going to be back.
Stay here. Shake hands. Shake hands.
Again, hopefully
Stay right
with
here.
a little less
Right here.
blood the next time. Great championship.
Come and sign the sheet.
So the Masked Marvel is the state champion at 145. Don Pritzloff wins it all. Maurice Worthy of Central Regional High School goes for a state crown against Ed Krudel from High Point. Worthy undefeated this year, a junior. Krudel with just one loss. He is a senior, but the big story here is the brothers sweep. Already today, Mark Worthy at 112 pounds from Central Regional, a freshman, was a state champion. So will the Worthy sweep? We'll soon find out.
How hard to win a state championship ever, and to have two young men in the finals, again with a champion already, and Worthy soon to be ahead 2-0 if he can clear this leg and bring Krudel back into the center of the mat. Worthy so smooth in his earlier matches today. Krudel, a tough person on a mat, but it's Worthy that takes the early lead.
Worthy in the maroon, Krudel in the black. 2-0. Worthy with the early lead. Great story is Maurice Worthy, last year a 5th and 6th place finisher in the States. Central Regional fans recording this one for posterity.
Worthy again, until his semifinal bout, had tech fooled a few people and pinned everybody else. Always working for the fall, always aggressive. Will he become a little conservative here now that he's in the finals of the New Jersey State Championships?
Well, the Worthies will both be back. As we said, Maurice just a junior and Mark a freshman. And Krudel with his first point of the day. Krudel with the blue and the red, Worthy in the maroon and the gold.
Again, Worthy not working too hard to keep Krudel underneath, feeling like he is so smooth on his feet that he can again get the takedown, but it is Krudel that comes with the throw, and it's he who takes the lead, 3-2.
Hey, we've been talking a lot about Maurice Worthy. How about Ed Krudel? 29-1. We mentioned his record this year, but how about his career record? 77 wins. Lost in the quarterfinals of the States last year. This year, put on quite a show. And currently, he leads 3-2 here in the first period.
He has his first warning against him for, again, not bringing Worthy down to the mat, locking behind, standing in that position. So, again, the first warning for stalling, again, against Krudel. Almost locked hands. Vinny Russo down looking carefully. They weren't. Worthy coming out, though, in the front. He ties it up as the period comes to an end.
All even after 1 and 3 apiece. We pick up action now in the final period. We'll have to remember that with 1:50 to go. But Krudel comes back. Fine move. No points awarded yet.
Worthy is set out, almost onto his back. Krudel, so strong with a cradle locked on Worthy. Can Worthy just brace and not have Krudel take him over? Krudel playing possum a little on top. He hasn't really sat through with that yet.
1:20 to go. 6-5's the score. Worthy on top of Krudel. In the opening, I told you that wrestlers all the way from High Point to Cape May were getting ready at the beginning of the year, all with the same goal to win a state championship. Well, here is a wrestler from High Point, Ed Krudel, and right now he's trailing at 152 pounds, 6'5".
Really nice movement by Worthy and an excellent job of following by Krudel.
Set, top man.
Worthy on the bottom, Krudel on top.
Krudel has to be conscious. Better movement that time so that he doesn't give up another point.
Tightest match so far today came at 130 pounds. Tim Moore of Phillipsburg in overtime. Decision Tom Wysocki of Broadway. This one's close as well. 7-5 now, Worthy with the lead.
Little short sit out in front. Nice job of getting his arm up so Krudel couldn't follow. Worthy has to work for that takedown, but can't make a mistake with 45 seconds to go. That's how close he is to a state championship. He can't hang an arm. He can't put that head down for Krudel's strength.
Stalemate, neutral.
37 seconds to go. The first period ended at 3-all. The second period ended at 5-all. Worthy has the 2 points here in the third period to take a 7-5 lead.
Beautiful duck again, beautiful duck, and he gets his points. He's now earned that championship if he can hang on to that 9-6 lead.
It's 9-6 with 19 seconds to go. Maurice Worthy looking to end the year undefeated and join his brother as a state champion.
What an accomplishment should that happen. And again, he's beating an outstanding wrestler in this championship.
Luke and Jude Cove did it from Long Branch in 1980, and now in 1996, Mark and Maurice Worthy have done it. Maurice Worthy from Central Regional, a junior, wins the state championship at 152 pounds with quite an impressive third period. He put it together when it counted. What a crowd. Atlantic City Convention Center, the state finals, and we're ready at 160 pounds now for the final between Mark Saul, a defending state champ from Millville, against Tom Tanis from Jefferson. Saul is quite an impressive wrestler, and he has blown through to the finals.
Steve, when you take a look at what he's done in the sense of a technical fall, 15-0 and 447, a technical fall, 17-2 and 533. This is against the best in the state. That's why he's 28-0. Now he has Tanis, who's 33-1 against him in the final here. Again, Saul just has wrestled beautifully in his earlier bouts.
Now, he's a guy who does not mess around, and so far he's off to sort of a slow start for him. And no points on the board at 1:15 of the first period.
Well, you should have spoken a little sooner. He's now locked the legs, and in a second, Mahoney is going to give 2 points for a takedown if he gets control, and he's going to get it if he gets him back onto the mat. Tanis fights out of it. Great job by Tanis of not giving in to the takedown of Saul.
Tom Tanis has had a great year for Jefferson. 33-1, his career record now at 60-13. won both a region and district championship this year. Saul in the white and Tanis in the blue of Jefferson. And there's the first points. They go to Saul, and he now leads 2-0.
Same move that he made 30 seconds earlier, but this time he made it in the center of the mat, was able to control his opponent to take again the 2-0 lead.
Won the state championship last year at 160 pounds and was a state runner-up in 1994 at 145 pounds.
Just one, no more.
Final 15 seconds, first period, and Mark Saul of Millville leads 2-0.
Nope.
He had a 1.5 count and a second count. Not enough to get his 2. Right at the end, he does. With 3 seconds to go, he picks up his 2 points.
How about that? We pick up action now in the final period. Mark's brother Mike was an All-American this year for Gloucester County College at 134 pounds. And this year, Mark was a great performer for Millville at quarterback. Threw for over 4,000 yards during his career.
Here we go.
You see a little difference in body build here also, Steve. Saul, the larger of the 2 wrestlers, and it certainly has helped him on some of the moves, countering Tanis's moves and coming away with the points. He likes this switch. It almost put him into trouble early in the bout. Tanis counters it again.
A day for many that they will always remember. For Mark Saul, his final high school wrestling match, and it looks like it will end with a state championship.
Again, Tanis did a nice job of staying on top and control, but again, the state champion just so tough when he grabs a leg. Tanis not giving in easily here. Not conceding anything in the final 2 minutes of this championship bout.
16 pins, 8 technical falls this year for the senior captain of Millville, Mark Saul. And he has just been so impressive during this entire tournament. And a candidate for an outstanding wrestler award here. Saul looks to be on his way. 10-0.
And again, somebody would like him to be scoring right now. Tanis is riding him. You know, is he an OW if he can't get out? Certainly he has consideration for that. You have to look at his tournament. The outstanding wrestler is not to be selected simply on what happens in the finals. The criteria are very, very clear as far as what it should be based upon. It's based upon overall wrestling ability. It's on aggressiveness. Again, your attempts to secure falls, takedowns, reversals, escapes out here. It's your quality of competition and it's your sportsmanship. And those 10 gentlemen, 5 coaches and 5 reporters voting for the OW today, all have a copy of it. It is not just the final bout. It is the full tournament, and all of those areas are to be taken into consideration.
Damian Logan of St. Joseph's was the outstanding wrestler here last year, and he has won already today at 135 pounds. Former champions to win today, Roman Flezar won at 119 pounds. He won the state crown in 1994. Nick Angan won the state crown in 94 as well. He won today by fall, 115 into the bout. Also winning today, Logan at 135 and Pritzloff at 145, both defending champions. And now Saul, the defending champion, on his way to a win at 160 pounds. He leads 11-0.
Nice step across there for the point. And again, aggressively going right back for his opponent's leg with an 11-0 lead.
Jerry, you mentioned it earlier, but it is oh so impressive when someone could make it look that easy in a state championship between the 2 finest wrestlers at the weight class. What a great performance by Mark Saul.
A commanding victory, 11-0.
Come into Subway and get 2.
The New Jersey High School Wrestling Championships, and now we move ahead to action in the 3rd period. So, Jerry, we head now the final 2 minutes. We've had some close bouts today. This one looks like it's heading that way at 2-0, Scannell with the lead.
And again, he's a conservative wrestler. Last 2 matches in the state tournament, again, last night and today, a 3-0 win, a 1-0 win. He's only scored 3 points in his last 2 matches, but it finds him here in the finals, and it finds him here ahead by a 2-0 score.
But how impressive is it that he hasn't given up a point in those 2 bouts?
And again, this is what makes him so tough. Conservative, and in his previous bout, the first round of the States, a 9-1 winner, giving up just 1 point to his opponents in 3 tough bouts.
1:35 to go. A takedown in the second period has been it. It's been the difference, and Scannell from Absegami leads 2-0.
On shooting in. Scannell, nice balance. Staying in the center now, staying aggressive. He doesn't want that other point. He can handle a takedown against him here, Steve, because if it makes it 2-2, all he has to do is come out from the bottom to win. What he can't do is give up a point for stalling to make it 2-1 and then be taken down and be behind 3-2. Hahn almost has it. If he had only been able to keep the other toe on the mat, he would have been able to bring him around on, and he would have had the takedown.
Gene Barber looking on. You can see the nervous tension on both sidelines. The chant of Scannell up from the crowd as his 2-0 lead holds up.
Nice job by Scannell trying to scoop behind so that he's not stalling. According to the way we see it and how the official might see it go. Stalemate call, safe call.
Scannell, 106 wins, 13 losses in a brilliant career. And he's 42 seconds away from a state championship.
Point against him, Steve. That's what he didn't need to have happen. To cause that by backing too much, 2-1. Now if he's taken down at the end of this period, he's going to lose the championship 3-2. If he can hold on, he's going to win it.
33 seconds to go. His first point he's given up in the last 2 rounds. Off the mat they go. And so with 26 seconds, down to the wire between Scannell and the freshman Hahn. 2-1, Scannell leads.
Better move by Scannell that time moving forward, but he can't hang those hands up high. We saw Hahn almost take him down on the side of the mat before with a dump. Scannell has to stay in the center. He has to make the moves like we're seeing there without making the mistake.
10 seconds to go. Scannell trying to hold on. Hahn looking for the big move. Oh, what action.
What a finish to that bout. What a finish, and it almost, that point almost cost him a championship. Both officials talking, making sure they agree on that call. A very difficult call by Bob Whitaker, and he made it very clear. There was no question in his mind the way he wanted to call that.
189 pounds is next. Another Phillipsburg wrestler, Mark DeFrancesco. He's a senior, taking on Brian Holmes from Warren Hills. Holmes a senior as well. So here we go. Phillipsburg in the traditional gray and maroon, and in the blue, that's the wrestler from Warren Hills, Holmes. So coming off just a real exciting bout at 171. Sean Scannell from Absegami with a win. And now we get to look at the Phillipsburg wrestler, DeFrancesco, who comes in undefeated at 33-0.
And it's Holmes that makes the first legitimate shot on the feet.
Already, one Phillipsburg wrestler with a state crown today. That was Tim Moore back at 130 pounds.
Francesca in nicely on a leg. Holmes almost over with the throw him off, but he gets his takedown, and the P-Burg wrestler is off to the early lead.
Well, the P-Burg wrestler has met Holmes 4 times this year. And DeFrancesco, as you can tell by his undefeated record, has won all 4.
Let's wrestle, boys. Let's work.
And there have been some very close matches between the two.
Phillipsburg, DeFrancesco leading 2-0 here. First period action at 189 pounds.
And like Saul earlier, DeFrancesco comes in with overwhelming victories in his 3 bouts. He comes in with a fall in 4:14. He comes in with a 22-7 technical fall in 3:19, and he comes in with a 14-4 major decision coming into this match. He has been racking up the points, Steve. Right now he has the only 2 on the board.
district champ, region champ this year for DeFrancesco.
Started to work his tilt, lost the tilt. Ohms unable to turn it into points for himself. Now a front cradle locked in, near side cradle.
And you can hear the crowd. Lots and lots of Phillipsburg's fans here in Atlantic City. Their man certainly one of the big favorites here at 189 pounds. 10 seconds to go, first period.
Ohms trying to get 1 point here with less than 10 to go.
Still red.
Trying to just back away.
And that's the end of the first period. DeFrancesco leads 2-0 over
Green,
Brian Ohms from Warren Hills.
Green's down.
Let's pick up action now in the third period of this state final. Ohms defeated Joe Ortiz from Jackson in the semifinals, and as Jerry pointed out, DeFrancesco defeated Nick Ficchetti from Cranford in the semifinals.
And again, the Peterborough wrestler had it easy with the 14-4 score. Ohms came in with the 3-1 win in overtime. He went to that fourth period. The question is, did that match take a little extra out of him here or not?
145. Who's going to win the state championship at 189?
Let's go. Neutral.
Off the mat again.
3-1.
DeFrancesco picking up a point, and that point could prove critical as we head down the stretch. 3-1 he leads.
Ohms now looking to lock. Needs the big takedown, and that, by that I mean not just the two here to tie it, because he's not going to...
Green. One. Let's stay in the center, boys.
Ohms was backing to try and set his takedown.
Ready?
Vinny Russo again hits for the second stalling call. You see Ohms walking backwards. The throw is coming. The call was made before the throw was initiated. Therefore, 1 point against Ohms for stalling. 4-1 now, Peterborough, and 2-point takedown on the edge of the mat. It's now 6-1, and a 2-1 bout in a matter of 10 seconds has become 6-1, and maybe a state championship sewn up for Peterborough.
Wow, that one was close to being off the mat, but DeFrancesco gets the call to his advantage, and he now leads 6-1. 109 to go, and DeFrancesco looks to be in charge, and this would be his 5th win of the year over Ohms.
And if you're Ohms now, knowing that you've been in some close bouts with the shot, when you're looking at that 5-point deficit, Steve, it's hard to go this last minute with the enthusiasm that you'd like to. He has to take a chance now on his feet. It's 6-2. He's the one that has to try the throw that we just saw before to try and get his opponent down. It has to be a 4 or a 5-point move if he's going to win the championship.
Red.
When Brian Ohms looks back at his high school career, one thing's going to keep on popping up: the face of Mark DeFrancesco. And right now, DeFrancesco is on his way to a state crown with 30 seconds to go.
Ohms has to take a shot. Whether you lose 6-2 or 8-2, there's a point for Ohms. 6-3.
So it's 6-3. And let's see if Ohms gets aggressive, gets the late points. 6-3, 15 seconds to go.
No control yet.
Let's go.
Ohms trying to keep that hip up. They're both up on their feet again with 5 seconds to go. But the championship again goes to Peterborough for their second run.
And you could see just the two faces, one of dejection, one of happiness. There it is. There's your final score. The Phillipsburg wrestler, Mark DeFrancesco, finishes the year at 34-0, and he finishes today as the second of the Phillipsburg wrestlers to win state crowns. Tim Moore did it earlier at 130, and there's your champ at 189. Red Bank, a senior, 32-1, takes on Sean Laughlin from Lower Cape May. 26-0 is Sean. He's a junior. That's Lovick in the gray and maroon, and Laughlin is the wrestler in the blue.
And it's Lovick that's in hard for the first 2 points. Again, A very powerful takedown. In rapidly. Again, Laughlin up into the air and underneath. Down by 2.
So Sean's off to a good start, but with the escape, Laughlin narrows the gap to 2-1. 1:30 to go, first period.
Work good. Stay in the center.
Lubbock, District 22 champ, Region 6 champ. He's had a great career. Good football player as well. Missed most of this past year, though, with an ankle injury.
Lubbock shot from too far out, extended himself. Laughlin able to lock the cradle on him. He has the takedown on the edge to take the lead. 3-2.
Steve Elwell in his first year at Lower Cape May Regional. He's 25 years of age and one of the younger head coaches in the state.
Laughlin gives the point, makes it 3-3. Another bout that will probably be decided on the feet as far as points are concerned.
Laughlin, the wrestler from Lower Cape May, was quite impressive in the semifinals, defeating Antonio Garay from Rawway High School 4-1. 3-all here, first period, 32 seconds to go.
Lubbock again on the leg as he was the first time. The first time he picked his opponent up. This time he goes forearm, but a nice back grab by Laughlin. And he gets not only the takedown, but he's going to come away with some back points out of that move.
So as quickly as you can say Sean Laughlin, he now extends his lead to 7-3.
And extending it more, Steve.
That's the end of the period. Laughlin with a tremendous move, and that one really could seal the end of this one for Lubbock. We pick up action now in the final period. There's the breakdown, period by period. And so far in this bout, we've seen the most scoring that we've seen of any of the bouts this afternoon.
Scoring against Laughlin, or stalling against Laughlin. Wakes him up. Laughlin then goes in, gets the takedown. Solid job of controlling his opponent there again to double that score. We had a 12-6 score. Now we have a 16-8 score. Injury time right now for Lubbock. Came down hard on that takedown.
Injury to Sean Lubbock. Let's watch how it happened.
And you'll see that he comes off the mat, Steve, and as he comes down here, comes hard on that elbow, and he must have had a scab on it. He had more than 2 minutes injury time, but they were able to treat some blood injury, so as a result, he still has his injury time remaining.
Well, he has his work cut out for him here at 1:03 of the third period. 16-8, Lubbock trails Sean Laughlin from Lower Cape May. He's been impressive.
Long, lanky body, nice build, tough on top, good balance, pushing all the time, keeping Lubbock off balance on the bottom.
Laughlin came in at 26-0, and it looks like he will leave 27-0. And Steve Elwell's got to be happy. Pretty good for a first-year head coach to have a state champion.
And to look back again, Lubbock coming in with a 10-8 overtime victory to the finals. Laughlin with a 4-3 victory. Each man had a tough time getting this far.
16-9, 37 seconds to go. Lubbock picking up some late points. It's now 16-11.
Gets his 1 and his 2, and he's going to have another 2. 17-13, 18-13.
Wow, Lubbock and Laughlin putting some points on the scoreboard. 31 in all. 15 seconds to go in this bout. Sean Laughlin looking to hold on to win a state crown.
Laughlin hit for stalling.
And Laughlin will hold off Sean Lubbock. There it is. Lower Cape May has their first ever state champion, and his name is Sean Laughlin. 18-14, the final. Laughlin, the winner at 100. Check that, 215 pounds. 13 down, 1 to go. 275 pounds, the last state final to be decided tonight. Jermaine Ruffin from Paulsboro High School taking on Dave Ritz from Highland Regional. They have met before. In fact, they've met recently in the Region 8 final. Ritz defeated Ruffin 10-5. We'll see what happens today. Ruffin in the red and Ritz in the blue.
Ritz certainly larger than Ruffin at this point as far as size is concerned. Maybe not with weight, but with body build and advantage to Ritz. Hard to get around, hard to ride. Ritz came in as the second seed. Ruffin has worked his way through the crowd to get where he is in the final.
And Ruffin had to work his way through the crowd because he lost to Ritz. Ruffin defeating Warren Hernandez from Perth Amboy in the semis. Ritz defeating Anthony Cassiano from Caldwell in the semifinals.
Action!
Ritz has yet to lose this year, 36-0. Two-time district champion, was third in the regions in '95, but came back to win the regions this year, as we mentioned. So what a day it's been. Big day for the Worthies. Maurice and Mark, champions, both from Central Regional, both brothers. First time that's happened since 1980. Big day for Phillipsburg as well, with 2 champions.
And again, Petersburg would like to think of themselves as a family.
Morning, Lopeland.
Also, Steve.
Lopeland.
And as a result,
Go.
2 families today, an individual one and a communal
Work the
family,
takedowns, fellas.
walk
Work the
away with
takedowns.
2 championships.
Just got to see Paul Marina in the corner for Paulsboro. What a job this guy's done. How about this for a record? In 11 years, 225 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties and dual meets.
It just doesn't seem fair to a number of other coaches. Paulsboro program, year in and year out, produces tremendous teams and champions, and it started with the inception of that program and again has carried through to 1996.
You saw just a moment ago Ralph Ross, who's in his 33rd year at Highland Regional. So both experienced coaches, both among the best in the state. 9 seconds to go. First period, we're scoreless. 275 pounders, Ritz and Ruffin going at it.
It's still Ruffin who seems to be moving forward and being a little bit more the aggressor.
Let's pick up action now in the 3rd period of this state final. Late in the day, not as great as it was at the beginning of the day.
Patrick commented on the crowd earlier during one of the interviews as Ritz ties it up by getting his escape. And Patrick was right as far as the crowd is concerned, Steve. The sections that are in the corner where you can't see the mat fully had people in them. There was a ring of people circling the fence. Areas being sat in today that have never been sat in Convention Hall for the state championships.
Those who are left are certainly enjoying the action here. 2 apiece, 1:35 to go now. For one of these 2 gentlemen, a state championship could come their way.
Ritz would even be better off being taken down and then trying to roll Ruffin to score points. He's going to end up behind 3-2 the next time he goes backward. I don't know if he has the energy to go forward at this point. And again, 2 vocal crowds. Believe me, the Highland crowd and the Paulsboro crowd. You're going to hear from both on any call that the official makes.
1:16 to go. Who has the energy? Who wants to be the state champion?
Right now it is Ruffin who has the energy. It's Ruffin who's trying to turn the tide as to their previous meeting.
You want to rinse it?
Ruffin is awarded the point, and Ruffin has a 3-2 lead. 1:10 to go. What a way to end the festivities.
Ruffin can't go underneath at this point. He can't take the chance of Rich's weight coming down onto his body.
53 seconds to go, and Jerry, it comes down to the wire between Jermaine Ruffin and Dave Ritz. And they give a glance at one another.
My time, we're gonna
A
rinse out now.
serious glance, not a friendly one.
We're gonna
And with
rinse them out.
47 seconds to go, they both go to their respective corners.
And Ritz needs a little blow here. Injury time being used more for recuperative purposes than for a real injury.
From what you see, who's going to have it left? Who's going to be able to reach back and win themselves a state championship?
This is an advantage to Ritz right now. Ruffin is getting his rest, but Ritz needs it more. I think if this had continued for 47 seconds, it would have been very difficult for Ritz to even think about getting a takedown against Ruffin. Let's see what happens when they come back. And again, the coaches are demonstrating in the corner to Ruffin as they can what to do. Tie inside, push him away, don't go underneath. We talked before, you see the officials there because Ritz cannot be coached. Talked to, but not coached by his staff.
Stay right in here.
And as you saw in the other corner, Paul Marino was coaching Ruffin.
And he roughed Ruffin up a little bit in that corner as I was watching, demonstrating. Hopefully he didn't take too much out of his own wrestling.
Well, let's see if Ruffin can rough up Ritz here with 35 seconds to go. He leads 3-2.
Say those R's 3 times fast and see if he can get away with it.
Jermaine Ruffin, oh, he's trying to hold on. Can he do it against Dave Ritz?
Now he needs to stay in the circle. He can't back out with 22 to go.
We're ready.
Dave Ritz trying to rear back. The senior trying to take out the junior Ruffin, but he trails 3-2. 15 seconds to go.
Ritz makes the shot, but not a good one. He shoots from too far out. Ruffin just needs to stay there, and he's a state champion.
And he's going to get mobbed here. Fans are on the mat.
Stay right here. Let me stay with you.
The victory for Jermaine Ruffin, and what a win it was.
Come over here. You're the
Holding
champion.
off the late charge by Dave Ritz.
Can you come sign
And you
this
can hear the
for me?
Paulsboro crowd really enjoying what ended a great day of wrestling from Atlantic City.